My name is Eddie Gibbs. I'm the Donald A. McGavran Professor of Church Growth here at Fuller Theological Seminary, and also I direct the Institute for the Study of Emerging Churches. First of all, let me say that I'm sorry to be speaking to you in English. This is a shame for somebody who was a missionary in South America. I was in Chile from the years 1965 to 1970, but I regret to say that since 1970 to the present time, I've forgotten most of my Spanish, and so I've had to resort to English, for which I ask for your pardon. Also, I'm deeply saddened not to be with you for this consultation of emerging leaders in Mexico. I would love to have been with you, not so much for any contribution I might be able to make, but for not having the opportunity of sitting with you and learning from your own experience. I've been in ordained ministry for 43 years, and I'm 68 years of age, and as a matter of fact, during the last 7 years, I've been on the steepest learning curve of my entire career, either as a pastor or in academia. The reason for that is that the cultural transitions that we are going through globally and throughout the Western world are of the most profound, comprehensive and deep that has occurred for possibly the past 250 years. And it's a younger generation that have been nurtured during that time of transition, and so have a far greater depth of understanding, because they are the product, you are the product of the information age, of the technological revolution, whereas for old guys like myself, we struggle to understand that. And so the younger leaders have become my teachers, and I'm privileged to be a mentor to some of the younger leaders and learn a great deal from them. So what has changed? Well, I think that the fact that we are in the information age means that the way that we structure the church, the way that information is shared, has changed enormously. And you'll be acutely aware of that. Also, we've moved out of the Christendom paradigm. We've had Christendom in the West since the conversion of the Emperor Constantine in 313 AD, until, I would say, about the First World War in Europe. And here in the United States until about the 1960s, the Vietnam era. During those many hundreds of years of Christendom, the church has been a central pillar of society. And what is true of North America is also true of the Christian church throughout Latin America. You have lived within that Christendom paradigm. But now we're in a post-Christendom, increasingly post-Christendom cultural context, in which the church is no longer seen as a central pillar of our culture, of our society. And as the church finds itself increasingly marginalized, this means that as leaders, we have to recognize that the context in which God has placed us is indeed not just a pastoral context, but is a mission context. The church under Christendom, as a central pillar of society, could invite people to come to them on their terms, to programs in which they were in the majority, they were in control. But increasingly, our task is not so much to gather people to ourselves to hear our message, but for the church to be dispersed in the world, which indeed is how it was in the first 150, 200 years of the church's life. It was a church in dispersion. And so I assume that in your conversations there in Mexico City, that you'll be talking about the re-envisioning of the church. And from my perspective, one of the crucial things is that we bring together the study of ecclesiology, the study of the church, with the study of missiology, of mission. Because what has happened under Christendom is that ecclesiology became separated from missiology with some very serious consequences. On the one hand, we've ended up with a missionless church, and on the other hand, with a churchless mission. And as we think about the emerging church, that church has to bring together ecclesiology and missiology, so that the church is less of a static institution, but is more organic and is more missional in its self-understanding. So in terms of redefining the church, this means that the church is not so much place as people. As one emerging church puts it on one of their t-shirts, on the front it says, "Don't go to church." On the back of the t-shirt it says, "Be the church." So it's a move from church as understood, not as place but as people. It's church understood not as a noun but as a verb. And in the Greek you see this, ecclesia is the gathering. And it is a gathering together in order to be sent into the world. So I say to pastors, never ever dismiss a congregation at the end of a service. Always disperse it. Because the church is not just the church as a weekly gathering. The church is a community which expresses my primary identity, my sense of belonging. And we are the community in dispersion in the places where God has already strategically placed each and every member to be an authentic witness to Jesus Christ. So I'm assuming that these are some of the conversations that you'll be having, and no doubt talking about other issues that I haven't even thought about. So although I'm not able to be with you, I eagerly look forward to hearing the results of your conversation together. And I pray that it will bring fresh initiatives to the church in Mexico and indeed throughout Latin America here in the 21st century. This is a time for the passing of the baton from my generation and the boomer generation to those that are amongst the under 35s. I don't know what it's like in Mexico, but in North America and in Europe, there has been a very serious loss of those under the ages of 35. And that's for a number of reasons. I think one of the reasons is this, that my generation and the boomer generation, they represent a culture of hierarchy and control. Whereas a younger generation, your generation, represents a culture of networking and empowerment. And I pray that the consultation indeed will be an opportunity for extensive networking and also for empowerment as we realize that we are not alone in the issues that we face. May God bless you. El Señor le bendiga.